What does the moon mean in traditional astrology? In modern astrology, the moon usually represents our emotions. This is due to the stereotype of being related to the sign of Cancer, and Cancer being considered to be overly emotional. The moon is a luminary in traditional astrology, as well as it finds its joy, its place of power, in the third house, the house of the goddess, which is opposite to the ninth house, which is the house of God, where the sun usually finds its joy. The moon does best in the signs of Cancer and Taurus, and it does worse in the signs of Capricorn and Scorpio. The moon does best in Cancer due to the fact it ranks Cancer representing the brightest and hottest time of the year, and it does worse in Capricorn due to the fact that Capricorn represents the darkest and coldest time of the year, usually after the winter solstice. And the reason it does good also in the sign of Taurus is that Taurus, being springtime, usually roughly bringing in life or representing the body, something that the moon finds very power in. And then it does worse in Scorpio due to the fact that Scorpio is literally fall after the fall equinox, which is usually a sign of like death and the end of things. The moon can represent spirituality, divination, as well as astrology. It can represent rituals and magic, similar to Mercury in the third house. The moon can also represent travel and speed due to it being one of the fastest moving objects in our celestial sky. The sun represents spirit and the moon represents the body. The reason for this is that the sun is so bright that the moon reflects that light. Visualize this: the sun is the spirit being reflected onto the moon, which is the body. The spirit is entering the body, and the body is manifesting that which is the spirit, our personality sometimes, out in the open in the physical. The moon can also represent mothers, it can represent sisters, it can represent any female figures that hold a place in your life. It can even represent feminine women. And also, the moon sometimes represents you. Due to its connections to the physical body, the moon can also represent gains, fortunes, as well as possessions in a native's life. Careers: the moon could represent nurses or caregivers or anybody in the form of healthcare. The moon also can represent travel, such as pilots of aircrafts or captains of ships, or any form of kind of travel. Moon in traditional astrology also prefers to be in a night chart, as in someone who has been born when their sun was under the horizon. The moon also represents the native's life. It can tell us about the kind of upbringing you may have had, or the kind of people you may have encountered, or it can tell us about the relationship you have with your parents. The moon really can show us like a reflection of what our life experiences have been. The moon, as far as what it wants to do in a person's chart, is it wants to manifest. The true moon wants to close gaps, it wants to connect, it wants to bring together people, it wants to give you a place to belong. The moon wants to move, the moon wants to wax and wane, similar to the lunar cycles. And lastly, the moon also loves to bring power. This is why lunar eclipses are such an interesting thing, or full moons are such an interesting thing, because this shows the power, that the manifestation of power that can be used. A lot of people who dabble in the occult use the moon cycles to really help them manifest certain powers or certain abilities or spells that they have planned out for people. Thank you for watching my video. My name is Jared. I'm a traditional astrologer / tarot card reader. If you want to book a reading, go ahead and go to my bio. My link to my site is on there. If you can, please like, follow, and share this video with anybody you know. I would very much appreciate it. I do also have an Instagram that you can look me up, same thing as Polytarot, as well as on YouTube. I also have post my videos there. If you have any other questions, just go ahead and send me a DM, or if you want to book a reading with me, send me a DM as well. Thank you so much for following me. Live in light.